Good morning. Would have been a wonderful end to the session, but for VAR. We'll get to that. Quite clearly, there's a pattern emerging that this newfangled Champions League has messed with these big teams. They're just not coping. Similar Europa League sides underperforming, and therefore, from my perspective, we have trust issues. Tottenham, case in point. AZ Alkmaar, case in point. Identical matches, absolutely identical. Similar odds on favourites, both going 0-2 down, both scoring a goal in about the 67th minute. That will give you some green at least. Well, that's the Burnley one. That's some profit yesterday. I'll come to that one. So that was the profit at 1-2. Now, given the weekend, there's been, for example, this is unprecedented stuff. It's Manchester City losing 4 consecutive matches. Hoffenheim have failed to score in 3 consecutive league matches. Red Bull Salzburg have failed to score in 3 consecutive Bundesliga matches. Guess where they're both playing? European club competition. Tottenham Hotspur involved in Europe. We were unlucky with Tottenham. We got a 49th minute goal disallowed. That 49th minute goal would have nailed you a decent green screen at 1-2, because the market would be thinking they're going to do this vast majority of the half remaining. So a tad unlucky. It was a badly timed 1-2 because you're stuck. Got 20 minutes to go for an underperforming favourite. Do I take the green or do I take the loss and look for the draw or the win? I did that with Tottenham. You could have got out here with AZ, having learnt your lesson. Up to you. But quite clearly, you can look at them. Starting Club Brugge against the newly promoted side. Tottenham, Nice and Lille couldn't buy a win. Both involved in Europe, I think. So it's a very tough season so far for trusting the usual trustworthy sides. But the over 2.5 goals was very good yesterday. The majority of these starred matches were the shortlist for overs. You can see goals coming. I like this lot here. Lyon and Nice, Lyon and Saint-Etienne, all about when the goal was scored. That would have been a profitable trade for my 2.5 goal idea. This is what I'm talking about with the Hoff failing to score. This is very unlike them. You can normally rely on them even for a goal before half time, but quite clearly the influence of the Europa League has seen them fail to score here, fail to score there, fail to score there. Scored in the cup, failed to score in 3 consecutive Bundesliga matches. It's unheard of. Arsenal failing to win. How many matches is it now? I don't know, but it's clear struggles. Not so for Fiorentina, bouncing back yesterday. This was the one that we could have finished with a 50-1 return. Boom. Betfair had even sorted out the market. That's how close we were. So that's the play there. £2.28. Now, this was at 2-3. Risk reward pretty good. So take that decimal point to one part. That's 81 quid return just for a 2-3. But that for me, a 1.02 will give you a good return. We got the 3-3. Fantastic stuff. I cashed out immediately. But then VAR offside. Absolutely gutting. That would have made the day by a country mile. The only other really good profit we made yesterday was in identifying that 1-0 Burnley and Swansea. Old school research this. All of Swansea's 5 defeats this season have been 1-0. All of Burnley's 2 defeats which came away this season have been 1-0. So, start laying the draw. I told you to lay the draw 1.09 and 1.06. Well, you'd have got matched at 1.09, clearly. Full stake matched. This was drip laying, traditional drip laying, 1.24 down, £49 return, excellent. Notably, too, neither side involved in European club competition. So notable. I don't know for how long this is going to continue with the form lines being just knocked out of kilter hugely. We will see. Again, the usual goal, Merchant Atletico Bilbao, post-European struggles. We did get a play here with the Betis equaliser late on. I hope you got involved in that one, particularly at the live stream. Post-European, wow. Barcelona losing. But insurance would have come to your rescue here. This, again, with this kind of form, there's only one culprit for this underperformance. Champions League football. It's caught up even with the best. This is a side who just keep winning. But suddenly, yesterday, can't score. That was a habit for Hoffenheim, Red Bull Salzburg. I don't know what it is. Suddenly starting or failing to score some of these. So another huge result, but insurance would have paid out here. So you'd have been okay. Last day of the season in the Allsvenskan. We only targeted 2 matches. Gothenburg had to win. Varnamo had to win. So we laid the very, very late draw at 1.09 and at 1.06 to capture the late goals. Very successful over Saturday in the Superettan, and it will be used again in the Norwegian Elite Serien. Only 2 matches remaining. So if the Norwegian Elite Serien is on during the international break, I will be offering full coverage, maybe even dip on to a live stream, because it's an excellent way to show you how to attack the end of the season. So our overs performing very well yesterday, generally speaking. I see successful overs as at least 2 goals, because that can suggest to us scored at the right time that you would get that 2.5 goal trade, backing and then laying off. First half goal is what we need and is what we got, but came far too early, so it wouldn't be of interest. But yet another underperformance post-Europe for a very, very short-priced favourite. That was the running theme this weekend, and you'll note the profit. Burnley. There we go. That perhaps tells you everything. Nowhere near involved in Europe. On to today, and there's not much to talk about at all. Deportivo La Coruña v Eibar. We can do some old school research for you. This is the part of the season to do it. Deportivo against Eibar. So let's have a look. Working our way down. So early season, only 3 wins for Deportivo La Coruña. So they're struggling. But when they do win, boy, do they win. 5-goal hauls. Eibar been a little bit more consistent, but they're far better at home with 4 out of their 5 wins coming at home. Away, they're on a 3 consecutive match 1-0 away losing sequence. And that's quite a sequence, failing to score that second goal since the 29th of September. That could leave them vulnerable today. But these are not 2 solid units, are they? 13th against 18th, early season. Where's that second goal for Deportivo La Coruña against the top 11? Eibar will be fancying this, but you don't know how they get on away against 15th and lower, but at home against 17th and lower, those 1-0s looking good. So it's highly likely to be a bit of a snore fest, this. You'll be looking at a Sheffield United kind of a performance from Eibar. Looking for that 1-0, it's quite clear they find the lower tier a bit more to their liking. Goal times, possible late conceding for Eibar. Not a match to get carried away with in the Secunda B. Probably best to have a day off. International football on Thursday. Danish First Division, Hobro and Hillerød. The only reason I would be interested in this is if we have a look at this. 2.5 goals for the Danes. That would get me an interest in this particular match. 59% over 2.5 goals. My threshold is normally about 60%, but 59 will do. It'll give you an indicator of where thoughts would be in this particular match rather than relying on a 2.38 favourite. Of course, Blessing are playing Mazembe today, which is a match I've been looking forward to all season. I'll be watching that one with keen interest. Premier League Cup. I wonder if it will have the reputation of the Premier League too. Over 2.5 goals. 7 o'clock kickoffs if you want to follow these 3 matches and look for over 2.5 goals. And this week, I'll be working on some videos for you on my ideas for 2.5 goals. Research, best places to find a short list for matches. And then the checklists using soccerstats.com. Now, we've got 10 matches in. So it'll be a good set of videos, I think. But that's it for today. Quiet, quiet, quiet. Don't think there's anything remarkable tennis-wise, but we're getting ever so near to the first Grand Slam, Australian Open. So we've got some big boys out. Turin, hard door, hard indoor. I think hard is the court in Australia, isn't it? I'm not too sure. Alcaraz, Ruud, Zverev and Rublev, they're all there for a nice tidy paycheck, I think. Top players in the world. Very little to appeal. I'm going to say goodbye now. Thursday will be the main day for football to return. What a pity we couldn't land that Stuttgart play at the very, very end. That would have been a remarkable end to the day. Have a great day.